Hey guys, thanks for coming to the channel. The question of the day is, what would you do? Middle of the winter time, had a warmer than average week, you got to go fishing on the weekend, cold front drops in, north wind, cold and windy, 10 degrees probably to 15 degrees colder than it had been throughout the week. What would you do if you were going out on a river to catch them? Well, immediately I would think, like cold front, the fish are going to get more finicky and they're going to be difficult to catch. So, considering whether or not the water was clear or dirty, if it was clear, then, you would think, man, the only way I'm going to be able to catch these fish is to finesse them out. But that's not what happened. So, I got some on the water catches here of exactly what did happen, and then I'll discuss it afterwards. Now, one of these catches, I apologize, is in time lapse. Somehow or another I hit the time lapse button for that particular one. But that particular time lapse fish was a 4-pound plus fish. So here, take a quick look at this and then we'll talk about exactly how it played out. So I've been flipping the jig and doing a lot of other stuff in this cold water, man, and now pick that chatterbait back up again. Another toad, nice big fat potted meat help. The little guys are biting too a little bit. Here's a little tiny one. So this next fish coming up right here, this is a 5-pound plus fish, full to the gills, with probably eating mud shad, or what a lot of you would call gizzard shad, but in these rivers, probably eating mud shad, and his belly's is, wider than his body by like 2 times. And he's got this mud on his belly, and I run into that a lot in the wintertime, but not generally, in the area of the river that I was fishing. Usually when you run into these mud belly fish, they're in backwater areas or low current areas. But this fish was in, considerably high current area, which tells me something that maybe I didn't really understand before is, some of these big fish, they just go out in the middle of the river in the wintertime, because he wasn't sitting in the shallow water current on the bottom with mud on his belly, because he'd had to turn around every 6 hours, you understand? So this fish had been probably out in the middle of the river next to a rock or stump, an old log, a spring hole, that's pumping out 55-degree water, and just sitting there dormant all winter and eating whatever came by. And for whatever reason, today, he decided that he wanted to move up in shallow water and eat, which doesn't even, like I said, doesn't even make sense, because there wasn't any strong or filtered sun, not any strong sun, and the bait was all still kind of out in the middle of the river. Look at that freaking pig. Got mud on his belly. See the mud on his belly right there? Wow. So I went out with the intention of maybe trying to finesse these fish out. And I threw a shaky head, and I threw a green pumpkin jig, and I threw a black and blue jig, finesse style jig. Then I dipped the end of the jig in chartreuse. And then I picked up a crankbait, a shad colored crankbait. Then I picked up a red crankbait. Then I picked up a spinnerbait, and then another spinnerbait. And then I picked up a chatterbait. Boom. Like almost immediately. Caught a 4-pounder on it. That's actually the time-lapse fish there. That was actually the first fish. They're not in order. And then I thought to myself, well, I was lucky. I caught a 4-pounder on a chatterbait in 2 foot of water in 45-degree water temperature. So nothing kind of made any sense. So I guess the point of this video is, it don't have to make sense, because it's not always going to make sense. You're not always going to catch the fish, you can watch my videos, you can watch all these other videos on YouTube, you can talk to your friends. And, you know, what makes sense most of the time, you know, works a lot of the times. But sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes what you think you shouldn't be doing is what you should be doing when you're fishing. And in my experience, you know, I've been fishing a long time. I spent a mess of years, a mess of tournaments, a mess of days on the water. And when I'm in 45-degree water temperature in February, I don't catch them on chatterbait. I don't catch them on that stuff. I catch them on something slow, creeping super slow. I mean, you might catch one, you know, you might catch one, but you don't catch giants like I caught in this video. I caught a 4+, a 5+, a 2 3/4, and another small one. I only caught 4 fish, you know, in about maybe 4 hours of fishing, which is, you know, not a long time of fishing, but I only caught like 4 fish. But those 4 fish would have probably won every tournament that there is in the wintertime around here, because I did something that was just a little bit different. So what did I catch them on? I caught on chatterbait. Here, this is the rig that I was using. I was throwing a Lew's Signature Series rod. This is an Andy Morgan Signature Series skipping rod. It's a 7-1 heavy action, and I was throwing it with a Corrado K 6.3-to-1 reel, not the fast reel. And the reason I don't throw the fast reel, especially in the wintertime, is I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to get conditioned to, you know, my normal pace of reeling with a high speed reel and moving it too quick for the fish when they're not in that good of a mood. And then the bait that I was throwing was just a simple little, nothing special. Guess what that is? A white chatterbait. It's a jackhammer chatterbait with a Zako on the back of it. No secret. There's no really, you know, there's really just no secret lures. It's just what works today is what works today. And you just got to go through your, just like in football, you know, when the quarterback, he's got 2 guys out wide, a wide receiver and a running back, who are all, you know, eligible to receive a pass. And so when he steps back in the pocket, he goes through what they call his progressions. He checks his number 1 target. Oh, that ain't working. So he goes to number 2. Oh, that ain't working. Goes to number 3. That ain't working. And then he gets to his check down, and if his check down doesn't work, then he's got to scramble. And so this is how fishing works. There are no set rules. It doesn't always work the way that you think it's going to work that particular day. It's a matter of being proficient in every technique, being proficient finesse, be proficient with a jig, be proficient deep cranking, be proficient with top water, and being able to cast and having the equipment, you know, that matches the technique that you're trying to do. Having all that skill, build that skill into yourself, and then you go through your progressions when you go fishing. And then, you know, even throughout the day, the whole thing could change again. So, you know, if you just lock something in your hand because that's what it's supposed to be that day, most of the time, you're probably not going to be successful. You will be sometimes, but everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. You understand? Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing when you're fishing. So sometimes you just got to go and do something a little different. And I did not expect to catch 4 quality fish on a chatterbait in 45-degree water temperature on a cloudy day in a cold front situation in 2 foot of water. Didn't expect it. So just always go through your progressions. So again, guys, I thank you for watching, coming to the channel, supporting the channel. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the like button, the little bell thing on the bottom, so you'll get your alerts. And please share it with your friends, and post a comment in the bottom. Again, that helps me to grow the channel so I can continue to bring you these videos. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.